Hello, friends. Wow, I have 45 minutes. I must have erased enough. So, this is my fourth attempt at recording today. That's why I'm laying in the bed because I didn't really plan for it to work. um, Holy balls. Okay, there's that. Good morning. Good Monday morning. Again, is it still morning? I don't even know where we are. Um, Thank fucking goodness it's a new moon. And I actually want to talk about something a little different than I normally do. I have been teaching about natural weight loss and body manifesting, usually more through like a spiritual portal versus like for physical change. And not to say that it is exactly that. It is that. But because my approach going into learning it and finding out about it didn't feel like that, I've had like resistance around teaching this to people that don't want to like learn all of it. And that's been my own shit. But whatever, whatever. We're there, we're there. So now it is, where are we? It is July the 20th. It is a new moon. And this is actually a really, really, really good time to start this kind of work if you're completely brand new to it. Also to say, anytime you want to start this work is a fine time because your intention is one of the most powerful things that exist in this space. I'm trying to use as much normal words as I can. Okay, so this work is not the same as where you go buy pills, where you eat things or don't eat things, and you have to exercise or sell any body parts or change any body parts with surgeries or anything for that matter that you've probably learned or understood or attempted to try with weight loss. None of that is what you're going to be doing right now, except remembering experiences, remembering what worked, what didn't, using that with your own small efforts, which would be your alchemy. So you need intention. You need something to alchemize to bring your effort into fruition, which can be anything from writing, drawing, dancing, singing, yoga. It does not have to be like a weight loss related thing. That being said, in the beginning when you're starting this, if you know things that have worked for you that you enjoy, that's another thing. The things that you're doing with this to work has to bring you joy, has to make you feel happy. You have to be in the mindset of, okay, I'm learning this new approach. I am learning that focusing on losing, focusing on changing is not how the connection between mind body flows easily. A lot of times that loop is I gain, I lose, I gain, I lose. Or when we're losing, we're suffering. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I never wanted to quit eating. I never wanted to quit eating the yummy foods. Yes, there are foods that are better for us than others. But chocolate and cake should never be out of our life unless you just don't want it in your life. That's how I feel. I wasn't willing to constantly like hate myself anymore, nor was I willing to like make myself suffer with food. Especially because back when I first found this out, food was one of my still one of my favorite, like, how do you say, coping mechanisms and like relief, pleasure things. Like, it's fucked to feel sad, to feel unhappy in your body, to enjoy food, and then put that connection that this pleasure is torturing my body. That right there is damaging as fuck. Anyway, so hey guys, could we whisper zombie talk for just while we're up here? So there's some of that. How to get started. What I like to say is, first you do a little bit of remembering, okay? Most of us, if you're here, you've figured out that you're not somewhat satisfied with the size or shape of your body. This is not how I usually like to teach this. So sometimes if you see myself correcting my words, I don't love them. I'm trying to repeat what I'm being heard so that I'm being heard back here now. I do not want to teach people that their bodies are wrong or that their body isn't perfect exactly the way that it is. I have learned that when we manifest things in our body, whether it's size, weight, disease, illness, stress, pain, injury, these things are because for a couple of things. Sometimes it is literally your source, body, physical, metaphysical side trying to get your attention. Sometimes it's kind of what your stream of consciousness decided before it got here, and that's kind of not really going to be in your control. Like sometimes people are born with things and it's like, well, that's fucked. I was born this way. You know, I get that. And from where we are, for the sake of not touching into the spiritual end, you can think that and let that be your story. Or you can say, this is what I have. And now I'm ready to let this be okay. I'm ready to accept this of myself and love this of myself. And let's talk about the loving part. So the self-love is actually probably the tool that is your most effective, the most important. So, you know, when people are teaching you to do calorie counting, it's pretty strict, right? Especially when they're on that fucking, 1,500 or 1,200 for the super psycho who tortures, like I have been plenty of times. And then, you know, there's the diets where you just eat like an orange or fucking, grapefruit. And like, I don't fucking know what the fuck. I have never been one of those, or where you drink shit. I've never been a drinker. I need to too. So, you know, you've had your whole gamut of things that work, don't work. You know what you've kind of enjoyed doing, not enjoyed doing. Some people love to exercise. Some people do not. Some people love eating healthy. Some people do not. So all of that does play a part in where you start. The most important and the very first way to start this work is by turning into the self and saying, okay, self, mind, body, physical, mental, all that shit, whatever you call it. We're going to do things a little differently now. I am understanding that I'm considering that maybe my approach has been a little one-sided. One-sided in a way that I am almost conditionally loving myself. To say that I would be more happy a size X or a number 120 on the scale, or whatever it is that you're thinking, man, if only I could be this, I would be that. If only I could be prettier, I would be more loving. If only I was skinny, I'd have the boyfriend. If I was attractive, I could get this job. Whether you want to admit those things out loud, we feel those in our body when we're connected, especially women. I can only speak for women in this body, even though I feel a lot like a man, but that's a whole other topic. We're not going to get distracted. As a woman who has lived for 40 some years and has had lost 100 pounds twice, first by physical exercise and diet, and the second by my happy accident by manifesting and loving my body to the size that it feels healthy and well. That's what I'm teaching. Yes, you can diet and lose weight, duh. Or you could love your fucking self and learn to eat and move and live intuitively and let your body come to the wellness and health that is more rightfully feeling worthy in your body, more that you want. So those words are funky. Let me fix that a little. So, okay, let's do this. So when someone has diagnosis of, you got 5 weeks to live, sorry dude, there's nothing we can do. And then all of a sudden, bitch, is 11 years later. That is called our will to live, our intention, the power of the human mind, which is probably one of the most, it's our most powerful tool that we can utilize. The thing is that it is literally littered with beliefs, memories, and emotions. So sometimes it takes a whole entire different path to get to where you're going, because depending on the life that you've lived, the time that you've lived, and the circumstances, your family, your relationships, doesn't matter. Like, to go be looking at that and judging yourself will not let this work. This work is about letting yourself be worthy of love right now. Letting yourself start to feel what you would feel if you were in that perfect wellness, if you were in that perfect health, if you had the best body, if you had, whatever it is that your words are. That is your energetic, emotional work to get this ball rolling. Then your intention. Intention. I like to pick a mantra or affirmation. I kind of like let them float. Sometimes I use it for the whole week. Sometimes it's just good for a day, depending on the mood. One of my favorites when I was first learning this work, one of my favorites that I actually really liked, I'm short and I have always had a really strong back, and I'm kind of like small and sneaky when I want to be. And even when I was like 250 pounds, I still imagined I could be small and sneaky. So when I was first learning this work and I was wanting to make an affirmation about my body that I wanted to, so okay, the fake it till you make it, not really gonna work here. You really can't lie to yourself. As much as we try to and practice that, it doesn't actually land. But you can soften resistance with words that don't feel fake. One of my first ones was, I can see why I chose this body. There is nothing else going on there. I can see why I chose this body. As I say it, I get chills on the whole front of my body now, because when I say that, I believe that. I can see why I chose this body. It's short. It's pretty quick if it wants to be. It's pretty quiet if it wants to be. And it's, there's other things. And at that time, that was pretty much all I had. Now, there are other things that I connect to those words that I do appreciate and enjoy about my body, but it didn't get there right away. Okay, so let's talk about how to get this started. So say you are, okay, let me just give you my example. What was I was 185-ish pounds. I had been using Atkins and then sort of teetering into the keto. It's kind of blurry. It's all the same suffer. But that shit works. That low carb works. But is it easy and enjoyable for me? No, because you know what I missed? I missed fucking beans and vegetables. To me, while that prescription of a diet can be really good, especially like if you're working with like diabetes or some sort of chemical reaction that you're wanting to get a grip on. I don't believe in staying in those spaces unless they feel good. So keep it in going. I'm 185 pounds. I had already lost 40 pounds with Atkins pretty quickly, but now I had been on that for about 9 months and I was pregnant. Not the plan at all. I was preventing pregnancy and I was not wanting to be pregnant. Once I got over all that emotional trauma, we realized that the way that I was eating was probably not healthy, what I was being taught as to how to feed a baby growing in your belly. So I prayed a lot about it, and I was also very fearful of gaining all that weight right back, I also want to throw in there, I wasn't one of these ladies who gained a lot of weight being pregnant. I was always afraid of that, and I pretty much always tortured myself through pregnancy to not gain the weight. But after the baby came, I was always back. I've always been backwards. And on one hand, I can really appreciate it. On the other hand, I'm like, dude, did you have to? It's like, but I just wanted to. Anyway. Okay, this video is about 15 minutes. I'm going to pause and make a new one so that I can do clips.